Hey guys, stealthswimmer here, and kind of want to just make a video about just some different things I was thinking about. I was reading this work here from James Buchanan, where he talks about the soul of classical liberalism. Anyways, at the end of the little article or whatever, he says he starts talking about just different ways that. Let me back up a bit. The article is basically about how to promote the ideas of classical liberalism and saying we can't just rely on science and self-interest. We also have to look at what aesthetic appeal it has. I totally agree. Anyways, let me I'm trying to find a good spot on that I was reading on the last paragraph to start. Okay, I'll just read the entire last paragraph. If politics is allowed to become little more than a commons on which competing coalitions seek mutual exploitation, potential value is destroyed and liberty is lost just as surely as in the rigidities of misguided efforts at collective command. Who, indeed, can be expected to be motivated to support such politics as competition for the commons? Where is the dream? Perhaps resurrection of the soul of classical liberalism is beyond realistic hopes for the 21st century, but those of us who think that we have glimpsed the shining city have a moral obligation to proceed as if that city, of which Adam Smith, James Madison, and F.A. Hayek, and yes, Ronald Reagan dreamed, can become reality. And so, in the beginning of the article, he talks about Ronald Reagan talking about the shining city. In one of his speeches, how America should be the shining city on a hill, and to like a beacon of liberty for other people to see and want to come uh, to visit or live in and stuff like that. And hopefully the world will want to emulate us. But I wanted to talk about this last sentence here. Those of us who think that we have glimpsed the shining city have a moral obligation to proceed as if that's society, of which, like I said, these people can become reality. So, I totally agree with that. And, well, I don't know if I would say it's a moral obligation, but I'm kind of on the verge of wanting to say it, right? And there's my cat Stripes again. He's mischievous. Anyways, and so it just made me think, like, when I train, like in the gym and stuff, and I know that people might think it's not related, but I totally think it's related. When I have like a long-term goal, every time in anything you have long-term goals and short-term goals. My long-term goal, or like life type goal, whatever you want to call it, the big picture goal, it might not even be realistic. I don't care if it's realistic. you know I have a goal in mind, and I don't set limits on that. Like, I don't mentally set limits on myself. Like, I know I'm probably never gonna look like Phil Heath or Dexter Jackson, but when I train, I don't think about that. I train as if I can. I train as if I can be the next Phil Heath or Dexter Jackson, or what when I'm, you know, obviously not every day, okay, right? I mean, those guys, they have a whole nother level of intensity. But my point is, when I go and I'm going all out in the gym, I don't think like, hey, you know what? I'll just stop here. I'm not going to be that great anyways. No, I don't care. I want to maximize my potential, and the only way to do that is to not mentally set limits on myself. And I was watching today, actually, a YouTube video of Arnold Schwarzenegger being interviewed for, I guess, his Muscle Farm supplements or whatever. And they have like this, they're promoting this thing called the Blueprint, the Arnold Blueprint or whatever, and it's supposed to be like his training philosophy, and it's supposed to go along with the supplements and stuff, like a little diet outline and training outline or something. But this was an interview with him, and it was called Arnold Schwarzenegger's Blueprint to Get Cut or whatever. And so it's what he would train, how he would train when he was wanting to train for a contest, to get ripped, and also his training philosophy. And so one of the things he said was he didn't set mental limits on himself. Is that when you're setting goals, you set short-term goals, you set long-term goals, and your long-term goals are always big picture. They're always like sometime in the future. Sometimes you might not even know if you can get there, but it doesn't matter. So the people probably tell you that it's a crazy idea, but it doesn't matter. You do it anyways because that's your goal. And you always set the little short-term goals as steps to get there. You always want to look at, is this taking me in the right direction? You know, and I just thought it was so interesting how I happened to be seeing that today, and then I'm reading this thing today, and in the same day, these it's like a repetitive theme for today, I guess, and and then it also I remember I think it was Dana Lynn Bailey and Rob Bailey. I like watching their YouTube videos too. Um, I already lost my train of thought, man. But I was gonna tie it together with that, like not setting mental limits on yourself, and it applied. And the same thing in the interview, Arnold said it applies not only to your physique, it applies to anything you want to do, anything you want to achieve. Some people might think you're crazy, but it doesn't matter. You always want to go in the right direction. Oh, now I remember. Dana Lynn Bailey, I think, said that you need to care. She didn't use such nice words, but she said you need to care about the process. Like she doesn't compete to win a trophy. Like she wants to win. Obviously, everyone wants to win, but her main goal is to improve on her physique and become a better version of herself, and that you enjoy the process. And it goes also along with a video I saw a little while back by Lane Norton on his Bio Lane YouTube channel, where he was like saying, because he's a natural bodybuilder. Some people might not believe that. I've seen him in person and I believe it. So I'm not saying he's small, right? But he definitely looks like a believable natural bodybuilder. Someone who's been training for years and years, though. Anyway, so one of the things he said, like, was if he just enjoys training. He like enjoys it so much, and like now he does powerlifting too. But he enjoys training so much that even if he knew for a fact somehow, let's say, if he knew for a fact he would never ever ever be able to change his physique, add a single ounce of muscle for the rest of his life, no matter how hard he trained, no matter what he did, he would still train the exact same way with the same level of intensity that he does because he enjoys it. All right, see, and that's another thing. Like me, I don't necessarily have the desire to compete. If I ever get to that point someday, maybe I would. But I train because I love training. I train because it makes me feel good. I enjoy it. So, and again, in terms of where I want to go, like my goals with my physique and other things like that, I don't set mental limits on myself. So I train thinking like as if I have a picture in my head and I train as if I am going to get there someday. If I don't, it doesn't matter to me. I train as if I can get there. And this guy's a little jerk sometimes. Anyways, he's clawing me. Y'all can't really tell, but he's clawing me. Um, but yeah, and I think that goes for anything in life. And just like this article was saying, that needs to be the case with people in the liberty movement too. And I say this just because I'm a libertarian, and so I'm like consider myself part of the liberty movement. And we can't mentally limit ourselves. We now some people let the perfect be the enemy of the good, so to speak, meaning like they only want to accomplish the long term goals, and little short term moves in that direction they see it as almost like an affront to them or something, like it offends them or something. I don't know. They're like, no, that's not our goal. This other, completely free society, that's our goal. An improvement is not our goal. This other, and I'm just thinking like, now I'm not saying everyone's like that. I'm just saying I've met a few people online who are like that, and it doesn't make sense to me. And because it's like, you know, to say, oh, this isn't our goal. That's our goal over here. This is our goal, not this over here. That's moving incrementally. It's like they don't see the distinction between short-term goals and long-term goals. All right, no matter what happens in the short run, you're always going to have that long-term goal. It's always going to be there. That's your ideal. You need your ideal there to have something to shoot for, and to see if those little steps in the middle are leading you in the right direction. Kind of like with weight loss or weight gain. If you're trying to change your body, you know, uh, you should weigh yourself every week. Some people do it every day, and I don't advocate people weighing themselves every day because you're gonna have fluctuations here and there. But I say go every week, and so you're on the right path, the right trajectory, you know. And like I said, you're still gonna have fluctuations up here and there. So that's why you're supposed to weigh yourself the same time of the day on the same day of the week. A lot of people say first thing in the morning, empty stomach. That's the best time, all right? I don't, but whatever. The point is, you want it at the same time of the day, on the same day of the week, every week. Now, you can have fluctuations up and down here and there, but if you really want to, then I guess be more stringent about it. Take your monthly average then, and if your monthly average is going down, you're in the right path. But really, every week, I feel like that's enough time to like actually see that you're going in the right direction. And the same thing with any type of goal. You want to have short-term goals, long-term goals, and all of the accomplishment of your short-term goals should lead, they should be like steps in the right direction to that long-term goal. Even if you never get there, it doesn't matter. Even if it's impossible for you to get there, it doesn't matter. Don't mentally limit yourself. You know, you always want to be going in that path. And and that's just, having a goal-oriented mindset, I guess, having a purpose-driven lifestyle, even some people call it, and that's all I want to talk about. I want this reading this article just inspired me, and so yeah, I guess I wanted to say it to everyone out there, not just people in the liberty movement. Obviously, I want them to hear it too, but anyone who has a goal or has a dream or has a certain list of things they want to accomplish, you know, don't mentally limit yourself. Your long-term big picture or lifetime goal, it's okay for that to sound a little crazy. Like I said, it shouldn't matter. Your short-term goals are what need to be realistic and what you can accomplish and you can set deadlines for or whatever, or you know that okay, this is a little step, I can go in the right direction. And once you achieve one, you set another. It's another little step, and then another, and then another. Was it the Lord of the Rings movie or whatever that said the longest journey begins with a single step? I'm sure they got that from somewhere else, or maybe I heard it somewhere else. The point is, it's true. You know, if you keep doing these little things over and over and over, and you accomplish your goal, and the next goal is even higher, and the next goal is even higher, and the next goal is even higher, even if you don't make it to your long-term goal, you're going to go a long way. But you just do it over and over and over, consistently and persistently. So, anyways, yeah, I was just inspired by reading this and the videos I saw today and in the past. Like I said, it's kind of like all of these things just kind of collected together, and I was like, you know what? I want to make a video about this, just talking about it, because I don't know, it just seemed like a really good, feel good topic. Hearts. There you go.